Okay, Doug, so one of the things that I get asked a lot is if I could only do one exercise for the rest of my life, this is it. This is the powerhouse of movement. This is going to be the barbell deadlift. And what we're going to be doing here is we're going to be activating our entire posterior chain, all of the back side of our body. We're going to be initiating this movement with our hips, but again, we have to be able to create a lot of tension within our back. We're going to be creating a lot of stability and strength that will protect our spine. It'll help prevent injury. It applies into daily life in so many different ways. If we're reaching down to pick something off of the ground, this is going to be a very, very, very strong position for us to be able to train. Now, things get a little bit tricky every time we work with barbell, so I want to spend a little bit of extra time coaching this movement and getting us into the barbell deadlift. One of the things that we talked about earlier that I want to bring back is this idea that we want to make sure that we're moving around the bar and we're not moving the bar around us. The shortest distance between point A and point B is a straight line. So that's the same premise that we're applying here. We should have a straight line with this bar going up. We shouldn't see it flailing out and forward or back or swaying or anything like that. We want to be able to create a path that bar can move straight up and down. So just like with any movement, we want to set our start and stance. So when we're working with the barbell deadlift, what we want to do is we want to cut our feet in half. We want to go ahead and start to create that tension, and as you come down, remember to look through those eyebrows, and that will help us keep our chin up and keep space because it's easy to dump and roll into this deadlift. We want to make sure to keep that tension, and this bar will become an extension of our body when we start moving. So what we want to do here is we want to think about finding our plank, creating that tension, rooting our feet into the ground. We're back at that neutral with our feet. We're going to go ahead and think about pushing our hips back, getting into our really good hinge position. And we're going to start to reach down into this bar, maintaining a neutral spine within this position. I like to really think about setting back and taking all of the slack out of the bar by really bending this bar and turning those lats on. What you'll see is the bar will almost naturally levitate before I even initiate the movement because I'm packing those shoulders down. That bar is becoming an extension of my body and I'm ready to move within this movement. When I'm thinking about getting up, I'm not thinking about pulling the weight up. I'm thinking about pressing my heels down into the earth. Not how much force is it going to take to lift this weight, but how much force would it take to push the earth away and really root my feet into the ground. So as we come into here, we're finding our hinge position. I'm going to go ahead and grip the bar. I'm sitting and finding my really nice hinge position again. I'm going to rip the bar apart, turning my lats on and driving my heels as I find my plank at the top. So coming back down. And we want to breathe and own the position with this movement. Okay, so now it's your turn. So remember, we want to cut our feet in half. We want to find our plank. We want to go ahead and bring that hinge back down. And think about loading those hamstrings and coming on up. Look through those eyebrows for me. All right, so go ahead and set the weight down. So one of the things that needs to happen within the deadlift is we want out, and any hinge really, is we want our hips above our knees and our shoulders above our hips. So what happened was we really focused on this weight and we kind of got in this too hingy position that we started on earlier. So we want to get back into that really good position and thinking about jumping over that ravine again and looking so that we can explode through that. So when you get down into that bottom, it's okay to come here, and then if you need to set back and really pull that slack out of the bar, that's okay, but we want to get back to that strong position and we don't want to leak power by turning off of our glutes, okay? So let's try that one more time. Good. Look through those eyebrows before you get started. Good. Look through those eyebrows. We're finding that neutral. Let me test that for you here. A little bit up there. Good. And then drive through those heels. Good. So you're a strong guy, so this weight is pretty light for you. So again, don't think about lifting this with your arms. As we come onto this next rep, I want you to think about just pushing your heels straight down. We'll keep, there it is. Very nice. Last one. Push through those heels and up. Okay, So the last thing I want to work on as I'm noticing through here is, remember we talked about moving the body around the bar and not the bar around the body. What we started to happen was we started to get kind of stuck through here, and then we got kind of squatty with our knees. So in this one, I want you to be aware of that. Remember when we did that drill where I was protecting you from hitting my hand, I want you to think about that again, so we're keeping those hips back and we're really loading through our posterior chain. Okay, so let's give that one more try here. Thinking about keeping those hips back. Good, set those hips. Good, push those hips back, 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 back. Much better. Drive through the heels. All right, good job. So as you can see, that's a super challenging movement, especially when we're working with a barbell. It presents a lot of challenges for us, but it will be one of the strongest movements that we will be able to perform. We'll be able to gain a ton of strength in our entire posterior chain, and we'll be able to take this in a lot of different movements that we'll be doing inside of the club and in your daily life as well.